Right now, you stand on the threshold of profound change, whether you realize it or not. Within you exists a wellspring of untapped strength and wisdom, a place so powerful it can reshape the course of your life if you allow it. Some call it the higher self. Others see it as the seat of your true essence. Whatever the label, this inner reservoir of light holds the key to experiencing the richness and peace you've always yearned for. Yet, in the hustle and bustle of daily living, it's easy to forget its presence. We become so wrapped up in external demands and outdated self-images that we often overlook the deep healing and boundless love coursing through our own spirit. Think about the countless times you might have labeled yourself based on past mistakes or external expectations. Labels like, "I'm not creative," "I'm unworthy," or "I must do everything perfectly, or I'll fail." These beliefs can crystallize into identities that stand in direct opposition to your authentic power. As we collectively explore new healing methods, from guided meditation apps to emotional freedom techniques, people are rediscovering a simple yet enduring truth. It's often the gentlest, most loving approach that triggers the greatest internal shifts. Today, you're invited to embark on a journey of reclaiming your soul power by shedding the old identities that keep you small. This won't be a lecture on self-improvement, but rather a soft reminder that your natural state is wholeness and love. Everything you need already resides within. It's merely waiting for you to remember. Throughout this script, we'll walk through transformative ideas and exercises like self-love affirmations, gentle mirror work, and subtle mindset shifts that can illuminate a new path forward. If there's a voice in your head whispering that true change is too complicated or reserved for the enlightened few, let this moment stand as evidence to the contrary. Real transformation begins with a conscious choice to nurture your mind and spirit, one compassionate thought at a time. By the end of this journey, you may notice that your perspective on what's possible has grown. You'll sense a new kind of freedom, as though weights you've carried for years have suddenly been set aside. So together, let's step into a sacred space of healing and renewal. Let's recognize that the pursuit of self-awareness is not about perfection or grand gestures. Rather, it's about gently realigning with your natural state of love, faith, and tranquility. Let today be the day you glimpse the powerful light of your soul, ready to shine brighter than ever. Soul power can be described as the radiant core of your being, an ever-present source of creativity, empathy, and boundless potential. It doesn't rely on external validation or social status. Instead, it thrives on your innermost acceptance of who you are at your very essence. Imagine a candle flame in a quiet room. This flame might flicker in the wind of daily stressors, but it will never fully go out unless you neglect it entirely. When you honor and protect that flame, it naturally grows brighter, illuminating every corner of your life with renewed clarity. What makes soul power so different from ego-driven desires? The ego typically strives for outward security, like approval, success, or material things, and it can be restless, always on the hunt for more. Soul power, however, emerges from a stable sense of purpose and trust. When you tap into it, you might feel a reassuring calm, even amidst uncertainty. You begin to recognize that your worth is not tied to how well you perform or how seamlessly you fit into society's mold. Instead, it's rooted in your inherent dignity as a spiritual being. Yet many of us have learned to bury this power under a mountain of doubts. Cultural norms, family expectations, and past heartbreaks can cause us to question our ability to stand strong in our truth. As a result, we slip into autopilot, simply going through the motions without truly feeling alive. But here's the hopeful part. Just like how plants bend toward a light source, the soul always finds subtle ways to call us back to our genuine nature. Perhaps you notice an emotional ache when you do something out of alignment, or maybe an unexpected spark of joy appears when you express yourself openly. These signals are gentle reminders that your soul is ready to shine again. One powerful step you can take today is to simply pause and listen. Yes, truly listen. Close your eyes for a few moments and ask, what does my heart need right now? At first, the mind might fill the silence with random chatter, errands, chores, or anxieties. But if you persist, you'll start to feel a deeper voice, steady and wise. It might say you need rest, or that it's time to forgive yourself for a mistake, or even that it's time to pursue a passion you've neglected. Each small acknowledgement of this inner wisdom strengthens your connection to soul power. As you delve into the next sections, remember that rediscovering your authentic self is a gradual process. There's no rush or scoreboard. Each new awareness is another spark that lights your candle flame, making it even brighter. Trust that this journey of self-discovery is not only possible, but also deeply natural, like coming home to a place you never truly left. Think of your life as a vast wardrobe filled with various outfits you've worn at different stages. Each outfit represents an identity you've adopted, some by choice, some by circumstance. Maybe you wore the overachiever outfit in school to gain praise, or the people-pleaser outfit at work to keep everyone happy. Over time, though, we can forget to take these outfits off. They start to feel like permanent uniforms, confining and disconnected from who we really are inside. Recognizing these old identities is the first step toward reclaiming your true power. Old identities often form when we try to fit into a world that demands too much conformity. We tell ourselves, I should behave like this, or I must be that, just to keep up with expectations. Yet these labels can weigh us down. Think of how exhausting it is to carry the constant need for validation. You end up seeking approval from others, letting their opinions shape your sense of self-worth. This habit can spiral into a relentless cycle. The more validation you chase, the more your real self fades into the background. Before long, you might not even recall what freedom or spontaneity felt like. Take a moment now to reflect on any roles or labels that might be limiting you. Are there times you shrink yourself to avoid conflict? Moments you pretend to be indifferent so you don't appear vulnerable? These behaviors don't define your essence. They merely reflect survival strategies you once found helpful. The good news is that you can learn to let them go. Even if it's uncomfortable at first, acknowledging that you've outgrown certain identities is an act of courage and self-respect. Here's a gentle exercise to start unraveling these layers. Write down every label you've ever given yourself: student, perfectionist, caregiver, etc. And then note whether it still serves your growth. Does it bring lightness and authenticity, or does it create stress and self-doubt? Reflect on each label and ask, is this really me, or is it an identity I picked up? There's no right or wrong answer. It's simply about awareness. By confronting these attachments, you make space for new, more expansive ways of being. We often cling to old identities because they're familiar, offering the illusion of safety. But this safety comes at a cost: the loss of your true voice and intuitive spark. Recognizing these worn-out identities isn't about blame or shame. Rather, it's a compassionate act, like cleaning out a cluttered closet so your favorite outfits have room to breathe. Remember, the real you is always present underneath those layers. As we move forward, we'll introduce gentle yet potent practices that help you shed what no longer aligns with your highest self, paving the way for authentic soul power to radiate. Self-love and forgiveness act like sunlight and water for your inner garden. They nurture every hidden seed of possibility, allowing you to bloom in your own unique way. When you approach yourself with compassion, the old, painful narratives start losing their grip. It's as if you begin rewriting a script you didn't realize was playing in the background all along. This script might have told you that your worth depended on how others perceived you. Or it could have insisted that past mistakes defined you forever. Through self-love and forgiveness, you become the empowered author of a new story, one where healing and growth take center stage. The idea of forgiveness can feel daunting, especially when wounds run deep or when the one you need to forgive is yourself. But consider this: holding on to anger or guilt is like carrying a heavy suitcase everywhere you go. Yes, you can walk with it, but the journey becomes increasingly burdensome. By practicing forgiveness, you're not saying that what happened was okay, nor are you dismissing the need for accountability. Rather, you're choosing to set down that heavy suitcase so you can move forward more freely. This act of release not only liberates you, it also frees your energy to be directed toward positive transformation. One gentle way to begin is through daily affirmations. Try saying or writing something like, "I release all resentment and choose peace," or "I offer myself compassion and understanding." It might feel foreign at first, especially if you've spent years chastising yourself for perceived flaws. But just like learning a new language, the more you practice these affirmations, the more they become second nature. Pairing them with slow, mindful breaths helps ground the words in your body, bridging the gap between head and heart. Self-love, on the other hand, isn't about becoming self-centered or ignoring the needs of others. Instead, it creates a balanced inner landscape where you can thrive and subsequently help others thrive. Imagine trying to water a garden from an empty pitcher. You can't give what you don't have. So when you love yourself enough to be patient, kind, and understanding, you naturally extend that love outward. People around you sense the calm, nurturing energy you radiate, which can have a quietly transformative effect on your relationships. Ultimately, self-love and forgiveness work in tandem. When you show yourself love, you realize you deserve to be free from the negativity of the past. Likewise, when you forgive yourself or someone else, you make space in your heart to expand self-love even further. It's a fluid, reciprocal process, like waves gently washing away footprints in the sand. Each wave erases another imprint of hurt, allowing the shore to return to its natural, pristine state. As we move on to the next sections, remain open to the possibility that every breath you take can be one of self-compassion and gentle release. Affirmations are short, yet powerful declarations that help rewrite subconscious patterns. Think of them as seeds planted in the fertile soil of your mind. When you continually repeat uplifting statements, you water these seeds, nudging them to grow into blooming truths. Why does this matter? Because our thoughts shape our reality more than we often realize. If we constantly tell ourselves, "I'll never change," we're effectively building walls around our potential. In contrast, an affirmation like, "I am open to growth and healing," knocks down those walls, leaving room for new experiences and positive shifts. One of the most effective ways to deepen the impact of affirmations is through mirror work. This technique involves standing in front of a mirror and gently making eye contact with yourself as you speak or think kind words. For many, this can be surprisingly uncomfortable at first. Self-judgment or criticism may surface. Notice those reactions without judging them. They reveal the inner resistance you might have toward truly accepting and loving yourself. By bravely continuing mirror work, you begin to soften that inner critic. Over time, you may even smile at your own reflection, feeling genuine warmth and tenderness. An easy place to start is with a single sentence. "I accept myself fully in this moment." You could say it once or twice in the morning and again before bed. Keep your posture relaxed and your gaze gentle. Let the words resonate in your mind, body, and heart. If tears come, that's okay. It means you're releasing pent-up emotions and opening a channel for healing. If you feel silly or awkward, that's fine too. It's just the mind's way of resisting unfamiliar territory. The key is consistency, not perfection. Little by little, these moments in front of the mirror shift your inner dialogue from self-doubt to self-affirmation. To amplify the effect, combine mirror work with a few other practices. For instance, pair it with a short visualization. Close your eyes and see yourself radiating a warm light from your chest, signifying self-love and acceptance. Or incorporate it into a gratitude routine. After each affirmation, whisper a thank you for any small progress you noticed that day. These added steps are like extra layers of nurture, helping your seeds of self-belief take root more solidly. Remember, affirmations and mirror work aren't about pretending everything is perfect. They serve as gentle reminders of your innate worth, especially during moments when you doubt yourself. By regularly affirming your value, you gradually dissolve the old self-limiting narratives that have been etched into your psyche. As those narratives weaken, your authentic soul power begins to shine through, unencumbered by the past. It's a process that requires commitment and kindness. Every time you look into that mirror and choose to speak love into your own eyes, you're making a powerful statement. I am worthy of healing, I am worthy of joy, and I am worthy of stepping into my true self. Compassion is sometimes overlooked in self-improvement because it seems too soft or passive. Yet compassion toward yourself can be incredibly transformative, a quiet force that dissolves negative self-talk and eases deep-seated emotional pain. Imagine that within you resides a small child who just wants to be heard and held. When you criticize yourself harshly, it's akin to scolding this vulnerable part of you. Over time, that child cowers, afraid to express its dreams and desires. But when you speak kindly and offer understanding, you create a safe environment where self-expression becomes possible again. One way to practice compassion is through a mindful check-in. Several times a day, pause and ask yourself, how am I feeling right now? Then accept whatever arises, fear, sadness, relief, excitement, without labeling it as good or bad. Acknowledge that all emotions have value. They exist to signal a need or an insight. After identifying the emotion, you might say internally, "It's okay to feel this. I'm here for you." This simple affirmation of presence can create an immediate sense of relief. You're effectively letting your mind and heart know that you are safe to experience the full spectrum of human emotions. When negative beliefs flare up, like "I always mess up" or "I can't trust myself," meet them with compassionate inquiry rather than condemnation. Ask, is this actually true, or is it a habit of thought? Often you'll find it's just a mental habit, a tape recording that's been on loop for years. Recognizing this is a breakthrough moment. It's the point at which you can gently replace that old tape with a kinder narrative, one that recognizes your resilience and capacity for growth. This shift is what reprogramming truly looks like. Letting awareness and compassion guide you toward a new story. On days when self-compassion feels most challenging, it might help to consider someone you love, a friend or family member. Imagine how you'd speak to them if they were struggling. You'd likely offer them understanding, reassurance, and gentleness. Now turn that same energy inward. It may feel unnatural at first, but with each attempt, you're loosening the grip of self-criticism. Over time, compassion becomes your default setting, infusing your thoughts and behaviors with a soft strength that aligns perfectly with your soul power. The magic of compassion lies in its ability to heal without force. Instead of waging war against your flaws or punishing yourself for missteps, you're extending an olive branch to your own soul. In doing so, you create a welcoming environment where personal growth thrives effortlessly. This compassionate mindset also supports your physical well-being. Studies increasingly show that reduced stress and heightened self-acceptance can boost immune function and overall health. And so, by treating yourself gently, you not only nurture your emotional landscape, but also cultivate a more resilient and vibrant body. We sometimes forget that our body is more than just a vessel carrying us through life. It's an intelligent partner in our journey. Every ache, every flutter of the heart, every knot in the stomach serves as a signal, conveying messages about our emotional and mental states. To cultivate conscious awareness means to tune into these signals and respond with mindfulness, rather than ignoring or numbing them. This approach can illuminate areas of our life where we've been stuck, worried, or unfulfilled. A simple yet profound method to start this dialogue with your body is through mindful breathing. Pick a quiet moment, even if it's just a few minutes before bedtime, and place your hand gently on your chest or abdomen. Feel your breath move in and out, noticing the subtle rise and fall. If your thoughts wander, bring them back to the gentle rhythm. As you become aware of each inhale and exhale, you're reconnecting with the present moment. From that place of groundedness, you might ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? Notice any tightness, warmth, or tingling in various parts of your body. Often, these sensations correlate with emotions that haven't been fully processed. Another powerful practice is a body scan, where you mentally travel from your toes up to the crown of your head. Pause at each region: feet, calves, knees, thighs, pelvis, stomach, chest, arms, shoulders, neck, and face, and simply observe. Does that area feel tense or relaxed? Are there any hidden pockets of discomfort or heaviness? Rather than rushing to fix anything, allow whatever sensations are present to simply be. Acceptance can be a potent form of healing in itself, providing insight into emotional blockages that might need more gentle attention. The goal here isn't to overanalyze every physical sensation, but to build a respectful relationship with your body. When you show up with curiosity and kindness, you may notice patterns: a tight jaw when you're stressed, a heaviness in the chest when you're feeling anxious. Over time, you'll learn to identify these signals early on, allowing you to respond proactively, perhaps through a calming affirmation, a moment of deep breathing, or a short walk outside. This mindful awareness helps prevent small emotional ripples from growing into bigger waves. Additionally, pay attention to the foods you eat, the beverages you drink, and the environments you inhabit. Everything that touches your senses can either support or hinder your sense of well-being. There's no need to become obsessive about it. Simply notice how your energy shifts in different contexts. When you start to treat your body as a wise companion, you naturally become more aligned with your soul power. Emotions are processed in real time, and physical sensations become less mysterious. This harmonious dialogue between mind and body is crucial for shedding old identities. Because when your body feels safe and heard, your soul can step forward more openly, guiding you toward a place of authentic living. Fear and shame often bind us to outdated versions of ourselves. These emotions are like anchors that keep us docked in harbor, even when the open sea of possibility calls our name. Fear can take many forms: fear of judgment, fear of failure, even fear of success. Shame, on the other hand, is that heavy feeling telling you that you are somehow wrong or not enough. When you allow these energies to dictate your choices, your path remains narrow, overshadowed by a sense of limitation and unworthiness. However, the act of releasing fear and shame starts with acknowledging their presence. Pretending they don't exist only strengthens their hold. So, take a courageous breath and admit to yourself, "Yes, I do feel scared sometimes," or "I have moments when I'm embarrassed by my mistakes." This honest self-admission, far from weakening you, actually opens the door to healing. You stop investing energy in denial or resistance, channeling it instead into positive transformation. One simple exercise to release these emotions involves sitting quietly and imagining your fear or shame as a dense cloud around your body. With each exhale, picture this cloud dissolving, gradually revealing a warm light radiating from within. Visualize the light expanding, growing strong enough to envelop your entire being. While this might sound symbolic, visualization can have a surprisingly tangible effect on your mindset. By regularly practicing this, you begin training your subconscious to let go of the emotional clutter that no longer serves you. Another helpful tool is journaling. Sometimes shame is anchored in past events or relationships that remain unresolved. Writing down these feelings in detail allows you to process them outside the confines of your mind. You might also want to include statements of self-compassion, like, "I acknowledge my past actions, but I am not defined by them," or "I forgive myself for what I did not know at the time." Transforming painful memories into written words can bring clarity, distance, and an opportunity for closure. Remember, releasing fear and shame isn't a one-time event. It's an ongoing practice. Emotions may resurface at times, especially when you face a new challenge or step into unknown territory. But each time they do, you have more awareness and more tools at your disposal. You become a navigator of your own emotional ocean, skillfully steering through storms that once felt insurmountable. By letting go of fear and shame, you lighten your emotional baggage, freeing your soul to explore uncharted waters of creativity, love, and self-expression. Ultimately, this clearing process is essential for reclaiming the truth of who you are, a resilient, radiant being with the inherent power to transform your life from the inside out. In a world that often fixates on competition and scarcity, embracing universal abundance can feel like a radical act. Yet, when you connect with the deeper current of life, you begin to see that there is more than enough love, success, and happiness to go around. This is not a Pollyanna idea, but a spiritual perspective rooted in countless teachings. What you believe and feel internally shapes your experience of external reality. If you constantly tell yourself, "There isn't enough for me," you're likely to find evidence that reinforces that belief. Conversely, when you shift to a mindset of abundance, new doors tend to open where you once saw only walls. One of the best ways to cultivate this shift is through gratitude. Gratitude is the language of abundance. It says, "I recognize and honor what I already have." In doing so, you align with the frequency of receiving more blessings. A simple practice is to keep a daily gratitude journal. Each morning or evening, write down at least 3 things you're thankful for. These can be small, like the warmth of the sun on your skin, or large, like resolving a lingering conflict. Over time, you retrain your mind to see blessings and possibilities rather than fixating on what's lacking. Another powerful tool is to speak words of abundance out loud. Phrases like, "I am worthy of limitless good," or "life supports me in every possible way," can sound almost too bold at first. But by regularly stating them, you anchor yourself in a more expansive belief system. Think of it this way: if you spend years believing you must fight for every scrap of success, your actions and energy reflect that. You may hold back from opportunities, mistrust others, or overwork yourself out of fear. By contrast, an abundance mindset encourages cooperation, innovation, and openness. You start to see resources and possibilities you overlooked before. It's also important to address any inner conflicts that might contradict an abundant outlook. If a part of you believes you're undeserving or incompetent, that's a direct roadblock to receiving life's gifts. This is where earlier practices of self-love, forgiveness, and compassion come into play. The more you heal your sense of worthiness, the easier it becomes to accept good things when they appear. And they will appear, often in the form of supportive people, timely ideas, or synchronistic events. Ultimately, aligning with universal abundance is about more than manifesting material desires. It's about embracing a holistic sense of plenty in your relationships, health, and self-expression. When you stand in that space, you operate from a perspective of love rather than fear. You realize that your growth doesn't diminish anyone else's, and that genuine success often leads you to share your blessings with others. In this way, reclaiming your soul power and shedding old identities naturally merges with the flow of grace, allowing you to co-create a life that reflects your highest vision and deepest joy. As we come to the end of this journey together, pause to appreciate how far you've already come in reclaiming your soul power. You've ventured inward, shining a gentle light on old identities that no longer serve you. You've discovered the value of self-love and forgiveness as core pillars of true healing. Through affirmations, mirror work, and compassionate introspection, you've begun the important work of reprogramming the mind. You've learned to listen more deeply to the signals of your body and to release fear and shame with grace. And crucially, you've taken steps toward embracing the abundant nature of the universe, transforming scarcity thinking into a belief in endless possibilities. If this feels like a lot, remember that no single step is too small. In spirituality, each moment of awareness is an act of liberation. When you notice your self-talk shifting from criticism to kindness, you're witnessing real transformation. Whenever you catch yourself slipping into an old pattern, but choose a loving response instead, you're breaking free from the prison of outdated identities. Change doesn't have to be dramatic or loud. Often, it's the subtle shifts that lay the foundation for monumental growth. Going forward, consider making a personal ritual of revisiting these concepts. You might reread your affirmations daily. Spend a few minutes at night journaling about moments of gratitude, or consciously practice compassion every time self-doubt arises. Keep in mind that spiritual growth is not a race with a finish line. It's more like tending a garden that requires consistent nurturing. Some days you'll watch new flowers bloom. Other days you'll be clearing away weeds. Both are essential parts of the process. To anchor this entire experience, let's close with a simple yet powerful affirmation. I am free to let go of what no longer serves me, and I open my heart to the infinite love within me. Pause for a moment and let these words resonate. Feel them in your body, mind, and spirit. Each time you recite them, imagine you're reaffirming a sacred contract with yourself, a promise to honor your own worth, courage, and unique gifts. Thank you for walking alongside this path of self-discovery and renewal. You've demonstrated a willingness to explore the deeper truths of who you really are, beyond any labels or past limitations. May your days ahead be filled with gentle breakthroughs, warm expansions of the heart, and a growing sense that you are never alone in this unfolding journey. Remember that your soul power is not something you must earn. It's your birthright. All that's left is to believe it, claim it, and let it guide you into a future defined by compassion, authenticity, and boundless possibility.